incubator. We're talking all around all these subjects. Thanks, guys, for continuing to watch us and continuing to send your Facebook questions and your tweets to me. We'll get to some more of those as this continues, but I want to start us off in this section talking about the incubator and talking specifically about, I'm a student here, right? Theoretically, right? I know I have a little bit of gray hair, but I'm a student here. And as a student, I think that I want to have this great idea for, I don't know, solar batteries and a new way of doing them, and it's going to innovate in the whole area, right? So I have this great idea, and I've researched it, and I've done all this work on it. How do I take something like that I've kind of thought about in my dorm room and maybe gotten a little help from my professor? How do I take that concept from there to incubator to out into the world?
Yeah, great question. And so my short answer is we are here to help.
Come on by, RIT.
Absolutely. And I think real quick I'll give a kind of an orientation to the incubator and the stage of company that we accept in, because that will help answer that question. But then in the process, I'll describe the other elements that will help that student also. Mm-hmm. So here at the incubator in Venture Creations, we really focus on early but later early stage companies that have typically developed their idea to the point of proof of concept, a product or service that's somewhat been developed. In our minds, it has to be a high market growth opportunity. We define that as greater than 10 million, so it's not huge, but it's not a lifestyle company, so to speak, that will just sustain one or two people. They have to have an affiliation, like a student, a faculty member, with the university in some form to come into the incubator. And we also really want them to have the origins of a relatively decent management team or structure, mm-hmm. as well as a business plan and perhaps investor presentation. They don't have to have all that solved, because we're here to help along those lines, but at least the idea of having thought about it, begun the process, so that we can get a sense of where their needs are coming into our shop. The reason we do this, in our experience, it takes about 2 years for individuals, and I will call it wandering through the wilderness a little bit with their idea. They have a pretty good idea, they may have a product, they may not have fully vetted it in the context of what is the marketability of that product. They may have not done a review of prior intellectual property that's out there, so are they infringing on anybody's? Just because they developed a better mobile phone, as an example, does not mean that they're not infringing on something that's out there. So do they really have a product that's something that they would, will help in the due diligence review of that, connecting the dots with them, with attorneys. And there are, so that takes, a couple years, for people to sometimes get to that place where they say, this is a great product, this is a service, it has high market potential, there's nothing else there there's always competitors, and they may be displacing a lot of products, but at least they're not infringing on anything for the time being. Mm-hmm. And then, we'll have them come in, they give us an application, we review it, we'll do some of our own due diligence on it, we'll determine if there's a fit here. We really focus on 3 domains, sustainability, BioX, which is kind of biomedical device and biomedical services. It could be software as a service, other things, and imaging, because Rochester, we're really well known with imaging, Bausch & Lomb, Xerox, Kodak, other corporations throughout the years, and we've kind of been known as the imaging capital of the world, or people have referenced us as that. And the universities here have a nice technical discipline.
Introduced to our party's moving in this way.
Okay. We will. Sure. John.
Okay.
All right, guys, we're live, and that's just a little interruption, as always happens. I appreciate your patience. We'll be wrapping up here in about a minute and a half. So I'll take one more of your tweet questions.
Sorry about that.
And feedback questions, and then we'll be on our way. Oh, good. This is actually a really good one. Arnob, thanks so much for your question. In India, it seems like we don't have nearly as many resources as you do there. Where does the money come from?
For the resources here, I think, great question. It's a mixed bag. We see it coming from the federal government in terms of research dollars that come down through the agencies like the National Science Foundation, again, the Department of Energy, EPA, Environmental Protection Agency, and others. and they support a lot of the long-term research that's conducted at universities throughout the United States, and that's a source of funds. Corporate sponsorship. We have a lot of corporations that are looking to partner with universities in the U.S. because they see them as an opportunity to link with students, have full access to future employees, and also that the universities sometimes have an infrastructure that's different than theirs that can lend itself to the application of their technology, the development of their technology on certain elements. So sometimes there's a very nice relationship that we can access funds with corporations and partnership towards those ends. Foundations and grants, private entities that support the work of universities because we're in line with the mission of what their foundation or not-for-profit organization looks at. So again, in the context of sustainability, there's lots of foundations out there that support entrepreneurship, innovation, creativity, sustainability, and tapping into them as access to capital to help the work that we do.
Sure.
Venture capital companies, others that are focused in the space that we work with in the incubator that want to invest in companies that are in these fields or in these domains. And if we're doing our job well, we're helping these companies align themselves so that they know how to talk with the investors. They know they're at the point where they need the next level of capital to graduate out of our incubator within a 3-year time period, roughly. And they're ready to make the next step, and that might be talking with angel investors, private investors, institutional investors, venture capital folks that have capital that they want to expend to help a company grow to the next level of development beyond the walls here. So,
sure.
And still there's institutional support. So there's internal dollars that we also invest within the community here that also supports these activities.
Great. Wow, so guys, it sounds like you are all set. You just have to make your way down here to the Rochester Institute of Technology with your idea for sustainability, and Mark will help you out. Mark Coleman, I've been chatting with today, and he is one of those inspiring figures because he's actually out there getting the work done and making these connections between thought leaders in the academic field to business itself. And thank you so much for your
Shane,
time
thanks
today.
so much. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Yes, and thank you to your listeners as well. I welcome the opportunity for anybody to get in contact. I'd be happy to give you more information.
Definitely. And at sustainability.rit.edu.
Yep, www.sustainability.rit.edu.
Right.
Yes, thank you.
Excellent. And there's their website. And of course, you can go by sustainable1000.com. You can see this archived. Pass this along to your friends, all you folks out there. Says I love to see these things go a little viral. And if you have more questions for us, like Mark was saying, feel free to send them over to him or to me. We'll talk soon. Have a great one.
Take care.